Welcome to my channel. My name is Mark and this is Camp Lapidary, and we're in the Lapidary dungeon today. And if you've read the title, you know what this video is going to be about. We're going to be looking at some of this Kokoweef Cave material a little bit closer. And I'm filming in 4K today, so that's something new. And let me know if that makes any difference. At the end of the day, 4K versus 1080p is what I would normally be filming at. But if we look down here, something like that, I have laid out for you a nice assortment of Kokoweef Cave formations. Now I think most of this would be considered popcorn, cave popcorn, but there are other, like this would be a drapery or a fin type material, and little pieces of stalactites or stalagmites, as well as various just other kinds of flow stone. Sort of like this one would be maybe the outside of a stalactite or something, some kind of a flow stone. But so I have the Sony camera, which I'm talking to, and I have the Gopro as a overhead view. And I also wanted to use my cell phone camera, and it has entered the picture. So we've got the Sony there and the GoPro doing the overhead, and we've got all these materials to look at. And I really like to use my cell phone camera for close-ups. It just works really good. The minimum focusing distance on the cell phone is so much closer than anything else that it's like having a macro lens, basically. But in my series of videos, I wanted to really show you guys this material before I moved on to other videos and other materials. I think this is a very special material, and it deserves an entire video just devoted to it. So I'm not sure exactly how long this video is going to be. I imagine 15 minutes at least. And so we're going to be looking at all these kind of closely. And if that's something you want to be part of and watch, well, then hang around. And if you just wanted to take maybe a little closer look, well, it only took you a couple minutes to get a closer look at the table that I prepared for you. And for those that are moving on quickly, I also found some common opal up on the mountain. Here's some sliced cave formation. This is another kind of cave formation that I've sliced. These are the two big pieces I showed at the beginning. And here's kind of an interesting one. It has, looks like a mix between opal and calcite travertine type material. And some that didn't quite make it onto the table. Some good material still in there. All right, so Kokoweef Cave formation. I think a technical term for these are speleotherms. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but we just call them cave formations. some of these I bought, or not bought, well, I bought them, but I picked them up, and some of them I bought to be cutters, and some of them I bought to be specimens. And mostly what I have here in front of you, I would consider to be specimens. Small, you know, kind of detailed material that I could polish the bottom of it or something and make it a little freestanding decorative type stone. Maybe sell them individually. So this material is a limestone, calcite, travertine, aragonite type materials. I wrote down some interesting tidbits about the mine and its history, and I probably remember most of them by heart, but I have a piece of paper if I need it. So originally, you know, so this is Kokoweef Cave formations, and the material that this come from is Mississippian and Pennsylvanian limestone, which was laid down 300 to 340 million years ago. And it is believed that the cave formations were hollowed out and created about 1 million years ago. So, you know, it was solid material or whatever, but the existing caves that this came from were created approximately 1 million years ago. At least that's what, according to the stuff I read. Basically, the caves were known since Native American times, right? They were known by the natives and the Spanish, who came a bit later, right? And then in the 1920s was kind of when it became commercially interesting for people. There's a whole bunch of names and stuff like that. I don't want to get into all that history. If a simple Google search will take you to many Kokoweef Cave or Kokoweef mine history, you can search that, and there's plenty to read. Lost gold, deaths and mystery, and a river under the mountain, and all kinds of stuff. All kinds of good stuff. You can read all about it if you like. All those little stalactites. And so from the 20s through the 50s or whatever, there was a lot of digging done. And that's when all of these cave formations came out of, you know, their caves and spilled on the side of the mountain because it's not gold, you know, or not zinc or whatever. There was many minerals and whatnot taken from that region. And in 1972, in paleontological dig was done, and they took out fossil and skeletal remains numbering up to 200,000 pieces or something like that. And so, you know, there was places where animals would fall off a cliff in there or something and fall down in there, and you know, turn to fossils or other skeletal type remains. But a lot of fossils were recovered, and including, so they were mostly Pleistocene age fossils, including, find my piece of paper, brush ox, dire wolf, camels, horses, marmots, bats, shrews, birds. There was some other stuff too, but I didn't necessarily write every single thing down. But I think that's really interesting to find so many fossils in a cave. I'll let you use your imagination on what I call this one. So that takes us up to the 70s when they did the digging for fossils and whatnot. In the 80s, caves were protected federally. And many caves are off limits, you know, substantial type caves are off limits to going in there and removing materials like this. So that was in 1988, I believe that law was passed. And while it may not apply to every single cave, I think it's important to understand that caves and whatnot are extremely limited amount of space on this planet, and deserve to be protected. So, you know, if you find a cave and it has interesting formations and stuff in there, you should really not take them out or destroy things in order to collect them. At least that's the way I think of it. Now, these were collected on the side of a mountain. So, you know, they've been sitting there for 50 or 60 or 70 years. And I went there legally with permission and was allowed to collect, which I think is a kind of a rare thing. So I collected basically about 2.5 buckets of material. I think I kind of focused on these smaller pieces, though I do have some that I would consider to be cutters. Now, I do make cabochons. I make and sell cabochons. And certainly I've made a couple of these Kokoweef Cave onyx cabochons. I know it's not an onyx, but that's just how the material is named, Kokoweef Cave onyx. And basically when you start cutting it, you know, that's what it looks like. That's kind of got some pits and stuff in there. And I stabilized this piece with super glue. And if I were to make a nice big cab, I might consider filling it completely with super glue, just to fill in the nooks and crannies. This one's been stabilized as well. So I don't know what else there was really to talk about. Don't go to Kokoweef unless you have permission. That certainly is something to say. Now, a video or two ago, I announced the beginning of the Camp Lapidary rock sharing program, and I asked people if they were interested in that program to comment on the videos, and I will give those who are participating in the rock sharing program a chance to add another piece of this Kokoweef cave formations to their box simply by typing the word speleotherm. And I'll write that in the video so that you can know how to spell it. Of course, if you misspell it, that's fine too. Nothing wrong with not being the world's greatest speller. I mean, how often would you spell speleotherm? Probably not too often. I like this one. This one's very interesting to me. It looks like some kind of a monster's teeth or jaw or something. Very interesting. All right, 14 minutes on the cell phone and probably 15 or 16 minutes on the other cameras. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut this piece. I want to put it on the saw, that saw right there, and I'm going to cut it in front of you and get a few slices off of there and see if there's anything we can do with the material. And I'm sure we can find something to do with the material. But this is a nice big piece, and it's got plenty of damage on it. You know, yeah, it, you know, it won't be around anymore, but I think this could be some amazing cabs. If I can get it to stay together, but yet still take a polish, some of it will be pretty amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes and clear away the mess that took me 30 or so minutes to kind of get all this stuff out, put it back in its buckets and stuff like that, and then set up to cut that cave formation. All right, rolling on the GoPro, rolling on the Sony camera. Here we go. I decided to cut up that one in addition to this one. So bonus stalactite. This is one of the biggest stalactites I have. And every slice of this will be a cabochon. Got my protection, hearing, and eye protection. We'll be putting that on. right, we're back. We can probably zoom that out and take a look at what we have. First, our actually, I like doing it up here. These are great. These stalactites slices will make great eyeballs type stuff, or just even single, triples. I don't know. I think they're great. Here's the remainder of this chunk, and that's beautiful. I could flatten one side and perhaps cut and dome this top side, and that'll be a beautiful display piece. And I have lots of little slices here to make cabs. That's a cab. That's a cab waiting to happen right there. That's a cab. Several cabs in here, though this material I don't think is too appealing. It's the white stuff. That's what we're looking for. Beautiful. Simply beautiful. All right, that's it. That's all she wrote. I'm going to turn off these cameras. And once again, my name is Mark. This is Camp Lapidary. We are in the Lapidary Dungeon. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.